Hey, how's it? Alright, still on my quest. New bands, new songs that I've never heard. I'm going to be doing Baroness, Chlorine, and Wine. Wow, that sounds like some kind of elixir for coronavirus, don't you think? Anyhow, thank you so much for the comments, your suggestions. You know, I opened up that Facebook page and, you know, people are parachuting over there to leave comments. I don't know how long that's going to last. I'd like to maybe pocket it into one place, but, you know, right now I'm having a good time and I can share some other things that are different on that Facebook page. Anyhow, this has been a crazy, crazy journey. I just broke like 85,000 subs, and I guess I might be doing something right here, which is kind of cool, and I appreciate all the great comments and the encouragement to keep going. Don't monetize the channel. Well, for two reasons. YouTube doesn't let me. Number two, even if they did, I don't think I would, because this is not about that for me. But however, if you do decide to buy me a cup of coffee, if it's so worthy, that link will be down there as well. I really appreciate it. Also, the link for this song and any of their Spotify or music is going to be below. And so, anyhow, let's do this. Baroness, Chlorine, and Wine. All right. All right, my first stop. I really was completely drawn in by their abstract style entrance to this song. I always know I'm in for some kind of a journey when a band composes intros that really give you time to settle in. And what I mean by that, and you guys have heard me say this before, you know, in the years of radio and hits and singles, you know, and we've all heard of, you know, the radio edit and the radio cut. If you're in it to a minute to win it, that's how record companies and A&R guys and stuff would package their songs so that radio has a better chance of playing it because of format, blah, blah, blah. I digress. I love the fact that they took at least a minute to get me into any place that had some kind of sense of rhythm. I also love the fact that it really feels like these are a bunch of guys in this band that are really working hard to get specific sounds. It's not like they dialed up, you know, effects on keyboards and stuff and started doing it. There was unique things they were doing with their guitars, with these long kind of galactal style reverbs. And what I mean by that is just long and icy reverbs that really dangle out there. And they set this ambient vibe out there organically, you know, whether they're using pedals and volume up with long delays and stuff like that. I know that there's a piano there or something. There's no two ways about that. And some keyboard stuff going on there. But it just seems like it's just not it's just not homogeneous. It's like they really worked at that. Now the guitars come in, and you know, first it's the electric guitar that comes in and starts holding the chord turnaround. I really like the chord changes that are there. Now, of course, this is the first time I'm hearing it, and I'm not that good with my ear to say, that is a so-and-so to A minor to a... That's not my jam anyhow. My whole thing is not quite that theoretical anyhow. And then when the acoustic guitar comes in, the real lift and then the drums and everything is in. One of the things I heard about with the drums that I thought was different was that hi-hat had a lot of reverb on it. And I was like, oh, okay, so is this going to be kind of a washy drum sound? Is what they set up with the Abyss, that kind of long, really super cool entrance, is that going to be a through theme with it? And then once the drums came in, I realized, okay, well, that's kind of cool. They just had a nice reverb with a long tail on the hi-hat. But when the drums come in, I couldn't hear the same thing too. It's possible that it could be what we call an over reverb, which means across the whole kit. You know, sometimes engineers will send out a signal into one reverb to make it a complete room wash, if you would. But most of us will isolate. You know, kick is usually really dry. The snare might get most of the ambiance. The overhead takes care of, you know, tom-toms and cymbals in a very general way. Many different ways to mic drum kit. And then each tom-tom might get, you know, its own mic as well, so you can have fun panning it. And the drums usually sets the tone for the ambience, usually, meaning stereo effect kind of vibe. And then once the singer comes in, God, I really love his voice. I get, you know, I fancied myself as a singer one day, and I was horrible. And sometimes if I pin myself going, God, if I had a voice, it would be like, this is the kind of voice that I really love. I wish I organically would have had this kind of voice so that I could produce more than just media music. I maybe one day could have been a singer, but no. The universe said, stay in your lane, and I did. Anyhow, so let's move on through this. And another thing too, before I do, is I just love the fact that this just feels like the band is having a really good time. And I said it feels like it. Not that I'm not watching a lot of the video. It just really feels like they're having a good time. They're really into what they're playing, you know. And complexity doesn't matter. I'm not in this game to, you know, ooh-ah and goober over complexity. I'm doing this because I love music and I love engineering and I love arranging and composing, and that covers all kinds of styles of music, all kinds of styles of rock. You know, it could be folk rock, pop rock, rock metal, and all the other genres that fall in there. Anyhow. I goober on too long. Let's listen to some more. Okay, briefly, I want to break there and just, you know, my ears, what we're hearing is a very raw, organic guitar sounds. And I did notice that there's a series of stomp pedals and stuff like that. But what I love about this sound is that it just seems really organic. It's not overly tricked out guitar sounds. It's very raw, very tube-driven style kind of playing. I'm sure they're kicking in, you know, stomps when they need to. I did hear some effects that it could have been stomp oriented or post, but it's just got raw. It's got backyard rock festival vibe when I talk about raw, you know, and I like that. You know, I love the dynamics and the intense engineering and stuff of the newer prog rock and the stuff that's happened in the last 25 years because of technology. This just sounds a little more, like I said, a little more towards the kind of pure rock vibe, number one. Number two, that was not, in my world, that was not a guitar solo. That was a really well-written guitar lead that these guys did. Now, obviously, there's overdubs there because there's only two guitar players, but one is still holding down the chord changes in the back. But that da-da-da-da, that whole thing in harmony was a great instrumental hook. You have a vocal hook, vocal melodic hook, and this is a great instrumental hook. I remembered it instantly. And I asked, and then once you hear it once or twice, you kind of ask for it again. You want it to show up again, and they did. And that's really important in good songwriting, you know, is to bring that listener in and let them settle into something, not hurry up and change in and out of it for glory's sake of composition, but let you just get yourself sunk into this. And that's what that just did for me right there. So let me see where we go on here. Here we go. Yeah, totally. Woo is right. These guys, this song embodied, at least in the video, and I started looking a little more, we're having that kind of a great time doing this song. That whole last section I listened to, it had that Queen thing going on there. You know, the chord changes, the quick riff, there was a lick in a chord turnaround that was like, I recognize that. That's not a bad thing, you know. Like I said before, you can see further when you stand on the shoulder of giants if they're influenced by Queen for that section. God bless you if you can pull it off. And they did. I just really love this. I don't know if this is a band that, you know, is regional and, you know, when they can get together, they, you know, go to somebody's, you know, studio and knock it out, you know, in part. And that just felt like, hey guys, we got a Saturday, we could do this. Let's do this. And they sounded great. Anyhow, Baroness, Chlorine, and Wine. Really nice passages, opening up with that get you in there, get into the rock thing. Really super cool turnaround with the piano, and the ambiance and stuff is kind of resetting you a little bit for the big out. And so super cool songwriting, great arrangements, compositions. All the musicians were great. The drummer was killing it. The drummer, you know, usually I don't highlight any, you know, one particular musician, but it looks like somebody said, here you go, buddy. And you just kill it through here and just knock yourselves out. There was a couple patterns he repeated. It doesn't matter. Those patterns are difficult as hell. And he was killing it. When he decided to go, I was like, whoa, phew, all right. Anyhow, thank you guys so much for the comments. I got a couple more coming today, if you don't mind. Thank you in advance for those of you who, if you see fit, buy me a cup of coffee. I appreciate it. That link is down below. And also the headsets, AKG 240s, links below. Music for everything's below. Everything's below. Everything is below in the description. All right.